Dogs love with an innocence that feels ancient, a loyalty woven into their bones, a softness shaped by thousands of years standing beside us. They do not judge, do not hold grudges, do not seek revenge, but their hearts are not unbreakable. Some moments leave marks that never fade, moments that don't just hurt but reshape the way they look at love, safety, and the meaning of home. Today, we walk through 10 truths that a dog may forgive on the surface, but never fully forget inside their silent emotional world. Number 1. The broken promise moment. Your dog reads your routine like a language. They memorize the sound of your shoes, the timing of your footsteps, the pattern of your evenings. When you promise something even casually, they take it literally. Scientists found that dogs evaluate human reliability the same way children evaluate caregiver dependability. When a promise is broken, their mind doesn't think, maybe they were busy. It thinks, I misread the world. Imagine them watching the door, tail twitching each time a shadow moves. Every minute stretches into confusion. Their hope holds like a candle flame, fighting wind. And when that flame finally dims, something inside them shifts a small crack. One broken promise doesn't destroy trust, but repeated inconsistency rewrites their emotional map. They still love you, but a sliver of doubt now lives where absolute trust once lived. What hurts them most is not the missed walk or the delayed playtime. It's the emotional weight of anticipation collapsing into emptiness. Dogs don't measure time the way humans do. They measure meaning. Every unfulfilled expectation becomes a tiny fracture in their belief that the world is safe and predictable. And those fractures collect quietly, shaping how much of their heart they dare to offer next. Number 2. Punishing what they cannot understand. Dogs don't live in memories. They live inside the exact second they're in. If you shout about something they did earlier, their brain doesn't connect the act to your anger. Instead, they feel sudden emotional danger. Studies show that dogs cannot link punishment to an event after even 60 seconds. Their brain freezes in confusion. Imagine them wagging their tail as you enter the room, happy to see you only to face a storm of yelling. Their ears drop, their eyes widen, their breath tightens. They aren't acting guilty. They're trying to decode your transformation. Dogs never forget when fear appears without warning. It creates a permanent imprint, a memory of unpredictability. The wound deepens when punishment becomes a pattern instead of an exception. Each unpredictable outburst chips away at their confidence until they approach you with caution rather than joy. Dogs thrive on emotional stability. When your reactions swing sharply, they learn to expect instability instead of guidance. And once they start anticipating danger where love should live, their world becomes a maze of anxiety. Number 3. Forcing touch when they're afraid. Touch is sacred to a dog. It's how they communicate safety, affection, belonging. But touch during fear, forced, restrained, overpowering, becomes a scar that embeds deep in their emotional memory. Scientists found that fear touch activates the amygdala and creates long-term trauma pathways. Imagine them trembling during fireworks, trying to crawl into a corner where they feel invisible. You reach in, not to comfort, but to control. They feel trapped, their instinct to hide blocked by hands they usually trust. Later, they may still lean into your chest, still sleep beside you, but inside them, a small recoil lives, a question mark in the space where trust used to be absolute. Over time, they begin associating vulnerability with loss of control. Dogs rely on choice to feel safe. When fear removes that choice, they internalize helplessness. A piece of their confidence erodes, leaving them more sensitive, more cautious, more easily frightened. Number 4. Leaving them lonely too often. A dog's emotional world is astonishingly small. When you leave them alone too often, not physically but emotionally, the emptiness begins to carve itself into their behavior. Studies show chronic loneliness shrinks neural pathways related to confidence and increases stress hormones. Imagine them lying by the door, staring at it long after you've forgotten you left. Their ears perk at every outside sound. Loneliness doesn't break them suddenly. It drains them slowly. Their tail still wags when you come home, but not with the same electricity. When your absence outweighs your presence, they start to shrink emotionally. Loneliness becomes a habit they never chose, a quiet ache that molds their personality into something smaller and quieter than it was meant to be. Number 5. Yelling instead of guiding. Dogs interpret tone with expert precision. A raised voice is not discipline. To a dog, it is a lightning strike to the nervous system. Studies show yelling elevates cortisol levels more than physical corrections. It creates a storm of fear inside their chest. picture them standing perfectly still, heart racing faster than their breath. They aren't thinking about what they did wrong. They're thinking about how quickly safety disappeared. Your anger becomes their world. Your tone becomes their weather. Your mood becomes their prediction of safety. Dogs do not remember the content of yelling. They remember the emotional temperature. This emotional vigilance is a form of self-protection baked into survival instinct. And once a dog learns to brace for impact, it takes years to unteach that fear. Number 6. Ignoring their pain signals. Dogs whisper their pain. They limp lightly, pause before jumps, lick one spot repeatedly, move slower, breathe heavier. They rarely cry unless the pain is unbearable. When these tiny signals go ignored, their faith in you as protector begins to bend. Research shows animals whose discomfort is repeatedly dismissed develop anxiety, depression, and long-term stress patterns. Imagine your dog trying to hide their pain because instinct tells them not to burden the pack. They endure, hoping you'll notice the small changes. When you don't, they learn something heartbreaking. Their pain is theirs alone. The silence grows louder each time their discomfort is overlooked. They stop seeking comfort because they've learned it won't come. A dog's trust is built on the belief that you will protect and notice what they cannot articulate. When this trust fails, they lose not only comfort, but also emotional security, the foundation of their entire bond with you. Number 7. Laughing at their fear. Fear is not funny to a dog. It is a storm that takes over their entire nervous system. Thunder, fireworks, loud crashes. These aren't inconveniences. They are primal triggers tied to survival instincts. Something deep inside them fractures. Studies found that fear paired with emotional abandonment increases trauma encoding and strengthens negative associations. Imagine them shaking uncontrollably, pupils dilated, searching your face for reassurance, and finding amusement instead. They don't understand humor. They understand betrayal. The emotional damage lingers long after the noise stops. Dogs remember who held them during fear and who didn't. Fear becomes a cage inside their mind, and the absence of comfort becomes the lock. Number 8. Being given up on. The worst wound a dog can carry is the feeling of being unwanted. Whether it's emotional neglect, rehoming without cause, or fading affection, abandonment rewrites their entire internal world. Scientists found dogs form attachment injuries similar to human children. Imagine them watching you pack a bag, unsure if you will return. Imagine them sleeping on your dirty shirt because it smells like home. Imagine them waiting at the gate of a shelter for a face that will never appear again. A dog doesn't know circumstances. They only know, my person left. Abandonment leaves a scar that love cannot fully erase, only soften. The real tragedy is that dogs never stop waiting for people who left them. Their loyalty outlives the relationship, stretching far beyond logic into pure emotional instinct. Even years later, a dog who was abandoned carries a faint, lingering fear that it could happen again. And that fear shapes everything: how deeply they bond, how quickly they trust, how fully they love. Number 9. Betraying the bond they built. Dogs give you their entire emotional identity. When you betray that bond by favoring another pet or treating them like background noise, their heart breaks in a way that doesn't heal fully. Studies show dogs can recall ruptures in attachment relationships for months or years. Imagine them watching you cuddle another dog while they stand behind you, tail slowly lowering. They don't feel jealousy, they feel displacement. Their place in your heart suddenly feels uncertain. A dog never forgets the day they felt replaced. They hide the wound behind loyalty, but the ache remains. Number 10. Being treated like an obligation, not a life. Dogs know when your love becomes routine instead of connection. When every walk feels rushed, every interaction distracted, they feel like a burden instead of a companion. Studies show dogs detect emotional dismissal and respond with anxiety, withdrawal, and behavioral changes. Imagine them approaching you with a toy, tail softly wagging, only to be ignored. Dogs don't understand schedules, they understand energy. They know when you're present and when you're not. Being treated like an obligation slowly quiets their spirit. The dog who once greeted you with excited spins begins to approach with gentle caution. Over time, emotional neglect doesn't just dim their personality, it rewires their expectations. They give less of themselves because giving more hurts when it's not received. Their joy becomes subdued. Their play becomes hesitant, and their heart becomes quieter than it was ever meant to be. Dogs carry memories not in words, but in emotions, and emotions leave fingerprints. These 10 wounds are silent, invisible, but deeply real. A dog may forgive everyone, but they will never fully forget them. Because to a dog, you are not part of their world, you are their entire world. Enjoyed the video? Give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and tap the notification bell. We'd love to hear your opinions in the comments, so join the conversation.